Welcome to the podcast where we challenge the myth of perfectionism and uncover the truth behind the illusion. But if you're waiting for the perfect moment to start living your best life, let me warn you that you might end up waiting forever. And here's a newsflash: there is no such thing as a perfect anything. The idea of perfection is just a big fat lie that society is selling us day in and day out. But the fact remains that from a young age, we are all conditioned to strive for it. Perfect grades, perfect job, the perfect body, the perfect relationship. It is so subjective, and yet it keeps us stuck in a loop of dissatisfaction and comparison. What looks perfect to one person might be completely different for another. So, if I were to ask you, when was the last time you felt pressured to be perfect? Maybe it was at work, trying to meet a deadline. Or was it while scrolling through Instagram, seeing photos of people seemingly living perfect lives? Do you not find that exhausting? This constant chasing of perfection comes at a very high cost, often at the expense of our own self worth. When we constantly try to meet unrealistic standards, we end up setting ourselves up for failure and disappointment, and thereon to self criticism and negative self talk. Instead of appreciating who we are and what we have accomplished, sadly, these days we are becoming fixated on fixing our flaws and shortcomings. There is a beautiful concept in the Japanese culture called wabi sabi, which means finding beauty in imperfection, and encourages people to view flaws not as failures but as unique aspects of individuality. Isn't that a beautiful thought? I'm not denying the fact that pursuit of perfection is essential in fields such as medicine, engineering, aviation, or maybe situations in life that demand it, and it can prevent errors and save lives. But the pursuit of perfection must always depend on the context and how it is approached. May I suggest things like shifting your focus from flawless to good enough? Focusing on setting specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound goals? Perhaps understanding that flexibility can lead to better outcomes and reduce the stress of rigid perfectionism. The only pitfall I see is setting unrealistic standards for ourselves and our expectation from others to meet our unrealistic standards. This always leads to conflict, resentment, and strained relationships. Definitely strive for excellence, but without compromising on your own well being. Because while on one hand, perfection can inspire growth and excellence, on the other hand, some aspects may not be workable for you. Remember, perfection is a moving target. You get to decide where to draw the line. Until next time, let your imperfections shine. You were listening to Rewire Life in 1.5 minutes with me, Hira. Namaste.